We're talking about plant nurseries.
Good job.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. It's Fresh Friday. It's the first annual Fresh Friday. We appreciate you guys tuning in all day. A lot of fish heads here with us that love fish stuff.
It's been a great day so far, and we're continuing on. We're on our 5 o'clock stream, and we have lots of sales going on. We're still doing giveaways. For more information on those, check out waterboxaquariums.com. Yep.
Again, you guys don't want to miss out on the sales. Take advantage of them. You might have 10 days, but I suggest getting your orders in early. We're giving up to 20% off aquariums and supplies globally throughout the U.S., Canada, Europe, and the U.K. So take advantage of that. Ends the 24th.
Yep.
We launched a brand new Eden X.
Mm-hmm.
So check out the website for that and get the details. Larger Eden sizes, as well as a complete version. If you guys haven't already, smash that like button. I see a number of you in here. I want to see that exact number of likes because it is mandatory, actually.
Right, it helps us out too.
Yeah.
Hit the notifications, share, all of that.
I like that. Fish people unite.
Nice. Fish people unite.
If you're hanging with us all day, you are dedicated, and I love it, and we really appreciate everyone that tunes in. A lot of planning and work goes into these events, so hopefully it's worth it to you guys to have all this.
You guys aren't just
showing.
hanging out with us to win money.
I hope no, of course not. Speaking of which, so we have $10,000 in giveaways throughout today.
Mm-hmm.
This stream, just like the other ones, is we have 2 $500 Waterbox gift cards that we're giving away. The giveaway is open until 5:30. Go on to the link in the description or waterboxaquariums.com, and you'll see a enter giveaway button for this stream time. Enter there, and then we're also going to drop a bonus word throughout the stream. Enter that into the giveaway for 10 extra entries, and we will draw 2 winners for that towards the end of the stream. So watching and paying attention is going to gain you those extra points with the bonus word. And then we also have our grand prize giveaway that is going on in the 7 p.m. stream, and that is open until 7 p.m. and that is also on waterboxaquariums.com on the main entry form. Get your stuff in. 3 $1,000 gift cards.
Yes, 3 lucky winners. That's going to be a big deal, you guys. So definitely make sure you fill out that form.
We have a Hulk smash from A to Z Forerunner. I like a Hulk smash. Hopefully you didn't break anything. So keep an eye out for the bonus word to get for those gift cards. And this one kind of ties in similar to the last stream. We were so lucky. I mean, I feel like in Florida, we're just extremely lucky with the places that we have that
Everything
are within driving range. Right. So we went down to South Florida and was able to visit the largest plant nursery farm in North America. And it blew our minds. So you get to take a peek at it.
Let's check it out. What's up, fish heads? We are here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Florida Aquatic Nurseries. This massive aquatic plant nursery that is in the 3rd generation of ownership, which is quite amazing. And we're going to take you on a tour of this really great place.
Thank you so much for having us, Brandon. He's going to show us around. Talk about the history.
Well, thank you guys for coming. So we started in 1957. My grandfather started the nursery, and his goal was to start an area that you could produce year-round plants instead of seasonally wild collected plants. From then, he passed the torch on to my father and his brother, and they ran the nursery and turned it from a little tiny place into 15 acres of production. Currently, we've got over 100,000 square feet in greenhouses. We've got another 500 concrete submerged tanks for submerged aquatics.
Wow.
Right now, we've consolidated down to 10 acres. We still have another 5 acres as backup. And we've really worked on creating more efficient production for the future. We've got over 350 different varieties of plants that we grow here.
Wow.
Probably 150 or so are true aquatics grown for the aquarium trade. The other plants are grown for water garden and ponds.
So ponds is a pretty big part of your...
It takes up a fair amount of acreage, but really we're 85% is aquarium plants. That's our specialty, that's what we're involved in, and that's where the future of the business is for us.
Awesome. Well, that's what we're here to see. So Want to take a tour?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
All right, so where are we at right now? We're in like the first greenhouse, and I see a sea of plants. What are we looking at?
So we're here in the first greenhouse, and this is a hydroponic recirculating system. These are Amazon swords right behind us. This is our #1 selling plant. If you look at one table's got about 17,000 plants
So
in
this
it.
row here is 17,000?
This whole row, and this Amazon swords goes from this table on almost as far as you can see, but it's 9 tables worth of plants here. So if you look at that, that's a huge number when you
That is
multiply
a
it
lot
out.
of Amazon swords, and I have to say they look beautiful. They're crisp, they're green, their leaves are super healthy. Like, it's just a beautiful sight to see that much perfection
Thank you.
around.
Yeah.
I see that we have some open spaces. Are these
We
new
do.
starting ones?
Those will be planted up next week. Those
Okay.
open spots are ready for the starts to come in and plant. As soon as we have time, they'll get planted up next week. We sell a small size plant. It takes us about 6 weeks to grow a plant from start to selling small. For a medium sized plant, it takes us about 12 weeks
Okay.
to get in that size range in the summertime. In the winter, these numbers double because once the cooler temperatures come in, even though we're in an enclosed greenhouse in the winter, it still doubles our growing time.
So cooler weather is better.
Well, it's when the most sales are because
Okay.
everybody up north is stuck inside and playing with their aquariums, right? But it's the slowest growing season for us.
Okay, got it. And when you say starts, are those coming off of the runners that they're sending out? Not runners, but
Yeah, we do starts right off the runners, and also we do import some cuttings to start depending on the variety of plant. But
Okay.
we'll look at some other plants down the road where you can see the babies
process.
growing right on the flower stalks.
awesome. I know a lot of people are going to see where like the process is from like planning to kind of grow out to end product. Do you have somewhere that we can take a look at that?
We do.
All right.
Come on. So we start different plants going forward here. These are still all different Echinodoros, which are sword plants varieties. This is a dwarf Amazon sword that we developed a long time ago. Rosette sword. So this one here, you can kind of see the transition from, freshly planted to bigger sellable plants. This variety doesn't grow as big as other ones.
Okay.
But you can see the start, these were just planted, and then the progression a little bit in this
Okay.
table. There'll be some other tables that we see it too. So here we get into some Cryptocorynes. Cryptocorynes are great. They do well in low to medium light. There's so many different varieties. This is Cryptocoryne spiralis on the right. This whole table is full of it.
Wow.
Underwater, it creates a long, stringier leaf, which flows nicely if you get it near the current, push in
Yeah.
the tank. So that's a really pretty thing. And then over here, we've got some of the Cryptocoryne Wentai varieties. This is Wentai red. Down the table, you can see it changes color. That's Wentai green. And then at the very end of the table is what we sell as Wentai bronze. These stay more of a medium height, but they do good in low to medium light. They fill in at
We
11.
use a lot of crypts in our like basic high tech aquarium like plant builds, and they're a great choice because there's a lot of different varieties and they are easy. Some of them nice and tall. Very familiar with those. They're a great choice for like low, easier tech type of aquariums.
Yeah, perfect. And we're gonna get down to the Anubias down here, and that's
That's another good one.
great plant for beginners.
Let's take a look. All right, what is this massive plant right here?
This is a huge plant. If you got plenty of room in your aquarium, this would be a good choice. But we sell it as Ranger Eye Sword is the common name. The botanical name is Echinodoros argentinensis.
It's huge. I've never seen a sword this large.
Yeah, you got to have a big spot for it. But if you have a aquarium with an open top, this would be a great centerpiece. Or if you have a really large one, this would be the go-to for the huge size.
So if you have an open top, there actually leaves will end up coming out from the top
You'll
of it?
get leaves coming out.
Dude, this will look great in like a clear 7225 with schools of tetras and
yeah.
be a beautiful centerpiece. I physically have never seen one so big.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And now we made it to the Anubias finally.
I see the Anubias.
So we dedicate a fair amount of space to Anubias because it's definitely, in my opinion, the best plant for beginners. If you kill it, you almost should earn an award.
Yeah.
So we had during COVID, we had tons of issues getting enough Anubias from our suppliers. Our local tissue culture labs couldn't produce it for us. Everybody was running short on labor, so we had to go back into growing it on our own. So what you're looking at here are just the starts of us beginning to grow it again, all our supply on our own.
Okay.
Anubias nana is probably one of the most popular varieties in the trade. My favorite though is Anubias barteri. It's got a little bit rounder leaf to it.
It's a little bit bigger.
Little bit bigger. And then when we get down here, you'll see that we grow them also on driftwood as a ready to go kind of instant aquascaping product.
So I see like these bins here, they're not with running water?
Right, these we grow them in soil and overhead irrigation.
Oh, okay.
And these we sell as bare root cuttings. The next sections will have potted plants that we sell as potted plants. It's our more premium line, but there's plenty of people that want to save a little bit on cost, and these bare root cuttings work very well for that.
Perfect. Probably a little bit easier to maintain without having to have running water too.
Yeah.
So I had to stop here. I see that we've got big old rows of driftwood with some plants on them. This is a pretty cool thing to offer.
It is. This is more kind of for the instant aquascape for those people out there, and something easy to do. So we grow different varieties of Anubias on driftwood. Right here we've got Anubias nana. On the other side we've got some Anubias nancon, some Anubias nanji, and some Anubias barteri. And we grow these varieties for people to just be able to throw right in their tank.
Makes for a nice, like, easy decorative piece. You've already got it kind of established and rooted on the wood.
Yep.
It's hard to find. You don't find a lot of places that already have that put together.
Even a small tank like one beta, you drop in one piece of wood and now you've got something going on.
Something beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a good one. All right, so this row is going to be a perfect example showing like from start to the end product of how you grow.
Yep.
So let's walk down this and see. So what do we have here first? What type of plant is it?
This is Anubias barteri.
Okay. We just saw those over there.
Exactly. We start the plants and they come to us right from the tissue culture lab in a tub of plants. And we get them and we plant them into the rock wool substrate with pots. So these guys are about 1 week old for us. They've been growing in a lab for, I think, about 2 months at this point.
Okay.
That they're divided, so you can see a good root system there. We enclose it with the rock wool. You can still see a little bit of the auger left over from planting them out of the tissue culture tub, and then enclose them in a pot here. And then they're left here. We cover them for the first 2 weeks. And then we take the cover off and let them start to grow and adjust to the climate.
Okay.
So as we walk down the table, the Anubias is also one of our slowest growing plants. It takes us about 6 to 8 months, sometimes longer in the winter season before we get a sellable sized plant. So because of that,
that's pretty substantial.
It is, and they're a little bit more expensive than some of the other plants. But like I said earlier, if you kill one, you almost deserve an award. They're great beginner plants.
Might cost you a little bit more, but it's going to last you for your lifetime pretty much.
Yes.
So about like what age or length of time are we here?
Now we've increased about another month at this point. These are, I see the date right here, they were actually planted on 5/10.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back another month here to this next section that we got a little larger leaves on
Definitely
here.
see a good jump in growth here. I'm sure once they hit a certain point, the growth improves as far as noticeable.
We'd be looking at April here. And then as we continue farther, we're getting even a little bit bigger. This is March.
Wow.
Then we're coming down and we're starting to hit February here. And then we're finally starting to get to sellable size plants. And so we're looking at January as a plant date, and here we are sitting in July right now.
So you got a 7 month, and this is during coming through, warmer climate. You hit about a 7 month mark to get that baby to the size to go to a store, to go into someone's house.
Exactly.
That's dedication. That's a while.
It is.
Makes you appreciate how long and how much work can go into the plant that you're putting into your aquarium.
All right, Brandon, so we took a look at a lot of your different plants growing down here, and even the ones starting from very small grow to the grow out phase. Tell us what we're looking at here.
So we've got some Echinodorus mother plants here. So we talked about Amazon swords down there. These are some different varieties of Echinodorus that we have. This is Ocelot sword right behind us. They produce this beautiful flower stalk, but the really neat thing about sword plants are they produce their babies right off of the runner.
Oh, okay.
So you get little plantlets formed right on the runner there, and for planting you just peel them off, and now you've got your own individual plant.
So is this where you guys start? This is where you're starting a lot of your grow out?
Most of the varieties of the sword plants we're starting here in-house.
Wow,
Yeah.
very cool.
We'll come harvest these and put them right into either rock wool or soil, depending on if we're selling a potted plant or a bare root plant.
So do these pretty much stay here year round?
They do, yeah. They stay here year round. We've got to trim them, harvest them as necessary,
Yeah.
but this is as big as an ocelot sword gets, you know, or
Yeah.
a green ocelot sword. So you can see full-grown size on all the different sword plants here.
So are all of these the same thing that as we move down?
They're going to be different varieties per table, and sometimes we've got 2 or 3 varieties per table, depending on what the sales of the plants are.
Okay, gotcha. Very neat. All right, Brandon, so you did mention you guys do ponds. Tell us about what we're looking at here.
So we're looking at a tank of production of water lilies. You can see in this tank here, a full tank fits 1,200 plants for it. We grow different colors. Tropicals are our specialty. These are all tropical water lilies here. You get multiple blooms off of one plant, so they always have something in color. It's great for ponds, but they are annual plants. They're not going to be perennials like some of the hardy water lilies.
Very interesting. Really pretty though.
Very pretty. Now we have hybridized over 30 different varieties and won international awards on the best new tropical water lilies. I think out of the past 18 or 20 years, we've won about 15 of the first place awards in the tropical division.
Wow, very cool. All right, Brandon, couldn't help but stop here because I saw Monte Carlo. I have attempted this one time. I wasn't successful. Can you tell us a little bit about like the care with this and how are you growing it here without CO2?
You couldn't grow a beautiful carpet like this?
No, I couldn't, unfortunately.
Well, we've got the advantage of being above water when we're growing it here. So what we're growing for Monte Carlo, everything is immersed. But if you want to grow it in an aquarium and you want to be successful and get this beautiful carpeting effect that everybody shows in their pictures, you're going to have highlight and CO2. That's the way to truly be successful with the low growing and the carpeting effect. That's the desirable trait of this plant.
And that is why I was not successful. All right, Brandon, so this looks a lot like the Monte Carlo. What are we looking at here?
Well, it's one of its cousins, but this is what we sell is dwarf baby tears, Hemianthus micranthomoides.
Oh, look at that.
Cuba, variety Cuba. And so, you know, this is the carpet everybody's looking for, right?
Right.
And this is what they're dreaming of. But this gives you a little bit smaller leaf, a little bit darker green texture.
It's really pretty.
But again, it's one of those that need that highlight and the CO2 to keep this carpeting effect.
Right.
We sell it in different ways. We sell pieces of a mat on cocoa fiber like this. We sell it potted. We also sell some on rocks and on driftwood, ready to go. But yeah, this is an instant carpet. If you need one, I'll send it up your way.
Beautiful, I love it.
Hey Rich, look at this plant here. This beautiful yellow color, how much do you see a yellow plant in an aquarium?
I have not seen anything of this color variety, to be honest.
Well, this is one that we developed here in-house as a selection of a cultivar from what was known at the time as Nessia pedicellata. You get this bright pink stem and these nice golden colored leaves. To keep it, you know, these colors, you got to have some highlight in your aquarium, right? The original plant is a green leaf, but this was a variegated selection that we kept messing with until we got a solid gold leaf on it, and we sell it as Nessia golden.
That's pretty neat because coming from a saltwater background, you see that a lot with corals. They continue to mess with the corals, or you know, until they kind of morph into different colors. So that's pretty neat that you can do that with plants as well.
Same thing with plants. Yeah.
Cool.
This is a common one that people really like to keep. Can be used as a foreground plant, kind of, the dwarf sage.
Dwarf sage, yeah. People like to sell it as a foreground plant. It'll start off on the smaller side, but it'll probably get a little taller than you really want for foreground.
But how tall are you thinking?
Well, I guessing that you're gonna hit, you know, 6 inches. It depends on your lighting. If you have the high lighting, it's gonna help keep it lower.
Okay.
If you end up with lower lighting, it's gonna
stretch
more. Yeah.
Okay.
But you could do a, you know, under highlight, you can keep it the smaller size.
So middle ground for a little bit like lower tech, but grows really well,
This is
easy to keep.
another one of those bulletproof, great plants to start with. Start your aquarium off, be successful, give to kids, you know, get them into the hobby. But these here have been recently potted, and then as you look down the table, you can see
Getting
the
bigger.
progression of them getting bigger and getting to saleable size.
Nice. All right, so we've made our way into different section when this is all underwater plants here. So why are these ones needing to be grown underwater?
Well, that's a great question. And it's not necessarily that they all need to be grown underwater, but some of them are just so much prettier underwater. So if we look at this plant right next to us, this is sold as, the common name is Wisteria, Hygrophila deformis. Would you believe that this and this are the same plant?
No.
Well, this is it growing above water.
Wow.
Like I said, sometimes they're just so much prettier underwater that we have no choice but to sell them with the beautiful underwater growth that they have.
Like, so what is the reasoning behind it goes from just basic leaf shape to so intricate and beautiful above and below? Like,
So,
I'm guessing this is more of an extreme case,
this is definitely more of an extreme
but it's
case.
insane.
But the leaves underwater, when they start to get the pinnate leaves, allow the current to flow through them because they're fighting water currents.
Okay.
And the leaves above water are
Wind.
smaller and more compact to fight wind. So,
Wow, that is such a cool difference. All right, so it's a little bit hard to see in this vat, but what do we have here? Something very, very cool that people probably don't see as often.
So I think this is one of the most unique plants in the world, and you're welcome to hold this one here. But this is what is commonly sold as the Madagascar lace plant.
Wow.
Comes to us from a little bitty island over off the coast of Africa. Most people know it now if they've had kids because of the movies. That wonderful island of Madagascar. And there's a whole group of plants over there that are called Aponegitans. They have these little bulbs and grow these different leaves off of them. And
So
this is,
surprisingly, it's pretty sturdy leaves too.
they
I'm
are
feeling
sturdy
them.
leaves. And like we talked about earlier, these holes in the leaves would indicate that these want a high water current flow. So
So highlight, high flow.
highlight, high flow, and here's some other varieties here. There's certain different varieties of them that have different leaf shapes.
I didn't know they came in different varieties.
Yeah, these grow in rivers over there
Wow.
with that high water flow.
How many varieties do you grow of the lace type?
So we grow 2 different varieties of just the lace, but
Mm-hmm.
of Aponegitans we grow, I believe, 6 different varieties.
I think that'd be a really cool like species type only to have like the lace and high flow river tank would be really, really cool.
That would look fabulous.
I love this. It's so unique.
Yeah, this is the Aponegitan bovinianus.
Those are cool.
Really neat. Really neat ruffled leaf and
Same thing, high flow.
high flow river.
We need a river tank.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a river tank.
River tank
And
build.
What's
Sure.
really neat too is I'll show you a Cryptocoryne in a second here that has the same type of leaf like this, and its
Ah.
name is Cryptocoryne aponegitanifolia because it
Oh.
looks like a
Copycat.
Aponegit- Yeah.
Let's go take a look at that one. That does. Those are some big leaves.
So yeah, this is what we just talked about. It's kind of a copycat, but this is a true Cryptocoryne. You don't see a whole lot of these. They're more unique in the marketplace. So if you have some, or some people are Cryptocoryne collectors, this is a really neat item
That's
here.
such a great plant choice for a really tall aquarium. Like the length on that is really, is that about as tall as you think they get?
That's about it. Yeah, and you can see they put off rhizomes here, and babies come off
Good
the
for
rhizomes. So
That's really nice. Everyone's always looking for the reds and the pinks, and we found some really nice looking stuff over here. Can you show me what we have?
sure. Over on this side here, this is Rotala wallichi. That really nice texture to it, that delicate looking texture, but you get a nice pink leaf, and you get some of the hardiness of Rotala. So it's not a super hard red plant to start with.
The fine leaf structure is so cool looking when it's all bunched together like this. Like it looks so delicate, but it's relatively hardy.
Right. And then you get a nice long stem.
Oh, look at the
we
nice
s-
pink tone in there.
We sell it in bunches, so customer would end up with something similar to this
I love
here.
the thin leaf look to it because that would contrast really nicely with the darker green, bigger leaf plants in an aquarium. Really nice.
And then one of the neat things you can see in this tank is you can also see the above water growth, so what it's growing like out of water. and then you actually get a flowering plant here too. So not everybody gets to see these plants flower because they're mostly grown in an aquarium.
Well, though, if they reach the top of your aquarium, we'll bring the green up top and the flowers.
Yep.
That's really neat. It looks like a little forest over there. This is so pretty. And over here, we got some more, not quite as fine leafed, but it has a really nice look to it. Got some red. What are these?
This is another Rotala. This is what we sell as Rotala magenta. And it's a narrow leaf variety of Rotala macranda. This is,
Oh,
you get a lot more red. There's a little bit thicker texture in the leaves there. But you get that really nice red color to it.
but not super difficult.
It's not super difficult. One of the interesting things too, also when you're growing this plant, you might see it revert to its parent plant, which is the thicker leaf variety Rotala macranda.
So what causes that? Just
Well, this is the thin one is a deviation of the thick one.
Oh.
So it'll go
Might
back
morph
to
a little bit back?
Yeah, it'll morph back to its parent and revert back to its parent plant every so often.
Now, with these ones, they do have the pink and the red CO2 or no? Still yes,
CO2
for best
if
results?
you can, and highlight.
Just to keep that
Yeah,
red.
if
Okay.
you want to keep that red color, think of the higher lighting. And anytime you start messing with higher lighting, CO2 is always a good idea.
Okay. All right, Val is one that people absolutely love, and we have a big old trough of it here. Is this a certain type?
Yeah, there's so many different valves. This is one that we sell as Vallisneria contortion. It's a taller variety of it. You get a nice spiraling leaf to
Okay.
it. Great for the background areas. You know, if you put it near a power head, also you get to watch a little flow in,
Nice.
in the water.
Still same thing, good growth, spreads by runner.
Good growth, spreads by runner. We grow several different varieties of Vallisneria here. The jungle Vallisneria, the contortion Vallisneria, corkscrew Vallisneria, and Italian Vallisneria.
Very nice. Very popular plant choice. All right, so we're taking a look at some more underwater here. You wanted to show me something with some pretty cool look to it. What is this one?
Yeah, this is Crinum calamostratum. This comes to us from Africa. It's a really neat plant here.
Kind of like a tree trunk.
It looks like a tree. You got a crinum bulb, and you got some really unique leaf structure to
Those
it.
are real cool.
So we grow them immersed like this to start when we buy them in, and regrow them here. And then
Looks like a tree out of a cartoon.
something from the Lorax, right?
Yes, it does. So they grow kind of bog style here.
And then we come over here and we start to grow them underwater and put some taller, longer leaves on them.
But
and
still keeps that cool texture to them.
It still keeps that really nice texture, really crinkly, longer leaves, and they'll get, you know, up to the water surface in your
That is
aquarium.
really cool. So are these a little bit less commonly seen around, you think?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen them. I think they're really cool. All right, so I'm definitely not fitting in this in any of our aquariums, but I had to stop here. What in the world? I know it's something for a pond. It's massive. What is it?
These are probably one of the most famous water lilies in the world. This is Victoria cruziana. There's two varieties, Victoria amazona and Victoria cruziana. This one we primarily sell because it's a little more cold tolerant than its cousin, the Victoria amazonica. But they're huge. Pads will get much bigger than this, provided that you give them the space. They, you know, get 5-6 feet across,
What?
no problem.
Let's set a person on there.
You could, and there's tons of pictures of babies sitting on these leaves
really?
by themselves.
All right.
Now, I never did that with my kids because if you come to the underside of the plant here, they're just covered with thorns. And you can see the really cool venation of it and the structure that it takes to float such a massive leaf.
Yeah, you'd have to have a very stern bottom. I don't know if that's the right word, but to be able to float something that big as it grows and to be able to place anything on it as well. I don't know how safe that is, but
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of pictures of them. I think most people put a little piece of plywood and paint it green on top just as safety.
Okay.
You know, they're not trying to injure their babies, but they want a really unique photo.
right.
Another neat thing about these guys is they're night bloomers. Right? The first day, the flower opens as white. Hopefully, a beetle comes in there at night, gets trapped in there, and crawls around, and it can only be pollinated on the first day, but overnight, for the second day, it starts to grow pollen. So as it opens the second night, the beetle has to crawl out through the pollen, and the flower turns to a red color.
Really?
And then the beetle crawls out and hopefully goes and looks for more of the white ones because it wants the sweet odor that it gives off in the first day flowers, and continues the process.
So not the easiest to pollinate.
Not the
That
easiest.
sounds very like it has to be in a certain way.
Does, but you can do it by yourself also.
Okay.
But that's how nature works, and that's the uniqueness of how these guys are pollinated.
Wow, these are really, really cool.
So we've walked through the greenhouse, we've looked at a ton of different plants, but we haven't really looked at what the finished product looks like. So we've got tons of people here, and they're harvesting plants all day long, and when they get done harvesting a potted plant, right behind us here you can see some of the finished plants. Everything gets a nice colored picture tag on it. It gets sleeved in a bag, and when we're getting them ready for sale, we're pulling all the brown leaves off, anything that doesn't look good, and putting them in trays, and then they get boxed up and shipped via air freight to the customer.
Perfect. All right, so all the plants are pulled, now they're coming in here and they have to get shipped out. So what's the process look like for that?
Yeah, so everybody's pulling them outside, they're putting them on the shelves right behind us here by variety. Then we have packers that come through, and they're packing on an order by order basis. So if somebody wants 30 Bucephalandra, they're going to put 30 Bucephalandra in it, 50 Amazon swords, and they go through the order and check off next to each plant as they pack it. Then we seal up the box. Each box has got a plastic bag in it. We try not to put any water in there, but we do put a piece of damp newspaper on the top to keep the humidity up, close up the bag, seal up the box, and then bring it to the airport.
And this is a good point to kind of like explain why growing them above water is so helpful in the packing and shipping process.
Yes, so above water plants have a sturdier, hardier leaf that's been fighting the wind, fighting the air. So for shipping, when you're pushing them in a box, they're a little sturdier. Once the customer gets them, there's going to be no problem for them to transition underwater. If anything, they get prettier when they're underwater. You start to get more colorful leaves, more decorative shaped leaves. So the transition from above water to underwater should be a nice, easy process for the consumer, just pulling off some yellow leaves here and there as they
Perfect, but it makes it a lot easier to get it to their location safely.
Much prettier
because,
looking.
Yes, the stems and leaves are much more delicate once they transfer underwater.
Correct.
Awesome.
Well, Brandon, we appreciate you having us out here. I mean, we covered a lot, but there's also so much we didn't cover. I'm hoping that we can get back to see the rest of it. Again, really amazing, amazing place. I'm a saltwater guy, but seeing this has got me, it's converting me.
Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate you making the trip down here, and we were able to show you this.
You're wholesale only, but how can the people, viewers, find your plants?
So we are wholesale only, but look through your local fish stores. They should get there. We sell to big distributors and then sell to the local market in their areas. We want you to find our plants. If they're not at your store, ask them for it. One way you can know that they're there, if you're buying potted plants, most of our potted plants come with a picture tag and it has our logo on it.
Perfect. All right, if you're
Excellent.
not carrying them, ask them to carry them. This place is absolutely beautiful. Everything is well maintained. It's been such a pleasure to come visit. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
All right, we are back.
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
That place is so cool.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people like, oh, they don't sell to the public. They don't sell to the public. Well, go to your store, see if they carry them. If they don't, ask them to. You'll have a better plant selection than maybe what's been existing. So, do check them out for that.
Yeah, it's such a massive scale. I mean, you saw how many plants were just in row, 17,000.
Right.
So they're producing on such a massive scale that these things have to be then sent to distributors that then send them out to the stores because there's so many.
Right. Yep. So definitely look at where they sell to, and then if they aren't for your store, ask them to get them in because you can see that variety and the health of the plants and stuff. But that place, I mean, it was hot.
Yeah, it was about 100 degrees and 70% humidity. So
The real
you
feel was
couldn't-
like 120 something
yeah,
degrees. So.
Yeah, surprisingly, you couldn't see us glistening, but there was a lot of sweat to be had that day.
If it wasn't sweltering, could have spent days.
lot more time there, yeah.
definitely think we're gonna plan to do a trip back there when the weather's cooler,
Yeah, for sure.
and check them out. So we do have some gift cards to give away.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Lucky winners.
Yeah, one second.
Don't have that ready yet.
Yeah, that was a really, really cool visit. Again, I'm a saltwater guy, and I got to be able to see like where this stuff comes from. It gives me more inspiration to like.
So okay, if you
set
saw
up a-
the drone footage in the beginning of how far that place
Yeah.
goes, we made it like one row
Yeah.
into that whole area that's outside.
There's a whole
we
pond
did
section that's equally as large as the
huge
row that
pond
we-
section, all the outdoor. We only saw but so much of the indoor. Like each row went so far. The amount of stuff to see there is beyond what we could have even covered. So
And Linda, there's a question: where is it located? They're in Fort Lauderdale.
yep. All right, ready for some gift cards?
Yep.
All right, ready? First winner is
James Hancock. Congratulations, James.
All right. Waterbox
Lots of
gift
winners
card
today.
number 2. You ready?
Nope.
All right, winner number 2.
Anna Waldrop. Congratulations, Anna. Big winners today. We still got more stuff to give away. Over
Just
the next
another
coming
$1,000
stream.
going
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no worries.
Giving away money
No
all over the
worries.
place.
We appreciate you guys being here. We pay you to watch us. So it's not a problem.
Really bad. Dang, man. No, we appreciate everyone that tunes in. I hope you are really enjoying the content that we've come up with for today. I think it covers a lot of cool stuff. And it ain't over yet.
No.
We are back at 6 o'clock with the owner spotlights. We have 2 stunning freshwater aquariums. You're going to hear all about it from their owners, their techniques, all that good stuff. So come see us in about 23 minutes, and we'll be back.
See you here. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell.
Don't go anywhere. Make sure to join us on the next Fresh Friday stream for more guests and giveaways.
And don't forget, Fresh Friday is the best day to save big on your new Waterbox aquarium.
For more about Fresh Friday, visit waterboxaquariums.com.